Constitution really doesn't seem that difficult to understand. There's no legal body that should stop me from watching MTV or BET. Reasonably, the Constitution seems like it's something that everyone should be able to get behind. Let's just go with maybe the first few amendments. United States Constitution. Okay, just scroll down to the amendments. Guess we got the ratified amendments. Hopefully that's what we're looking for. I don't think the Constitution is really all that hard to understand. Start with the First Amendment, just in case you don't know. The First Amendment prohibits Congress from obstructing the exercise of certain individual freedoms, the freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and the right to petition. The government can't stop you from signing a paper saying you support or don't support something. You can't silence what you say, the fact that you're a Christian or Muslim or Jewish, or the press. You can't suppress that because they want people to be able to both, and assembly, getting together. You know what assembly means. They don't want to stop you from saying anything or receiving anything. They don't want us to be restricted in that way. I think that's a good amendment, and I don't think it should change at all. Reasonably speaking. I only said reasonable speaking because this is a reasonable dose. But you guys get what I'm saying. There's no legal body that should stop me from watching MTV or BET. Advertising. Maybe advertising on those platforms, but that's not the government stopping me. That would be the network or something, right? Let's go to the Second Amendment. Protects the right of individuals to keep and bear arms. Period. That's what it says. I know this is sticky. If you want to keep and bear arms, you should be able to. It doesn't say keep and bear arms unless you're crazy. I'm not saying that it should or shouldn't. It doesn't say keep or bear arms if you're going to go and kill someone. Ugh. But there are laws, right? So as far as keeping and bearing arms, there are laws that say if you take your arm, your firearm, and you go and commit a crime or you take something from someone forcibly, that was robbery, attempted murder, something like that, with the weapon, assault with a deadly weapon, right? So there are already laws to counteract that Second Amendment, right? If you can have a gun, but you still can't do certain things with it. So there are already laws against that. So I believe the Second Amendment is good. Keep and bear arms. So far, I can get behind the first two amendments. Not conservative or democratic leaning, anything like that. Just on those premise, that basic premise of the right of speech to hear anything and say anything. I think that should be protected, and the right for an individual to keep and bear arms. No caveats. Remember, the Constitution doesn't, at least to me, I'm reading it now, it doesn't seem to be a document that is going to restrict people. The Constitution wasn't designed to be that stringent. From what it looks like, the Constitution was supposed to be a broad, reasonable way for the government to govern. The Third Amendment. It prohibits the federal government from forcing individuals to provide lodging to soldiers in their homes during peacetime without their consent. I don't know really where that came from, but I guess right now in America, technically we're in peacetime. So according to this, someone from the U.S. Army, they can't just come and say, hey, let me come and stay here. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I got Netflix and stuff. I mean, they could come and chill, but they need my consent. I guess that's a good thing. I wonder where that came from. Maybe I'll look it up. It says something about the British Parliament during the Revolutionary War, but this isn't a history podcast or vlog. This is just me breaking down these amendments. Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment protects people against unreasonable searches and seizures of either self or property by government officials. Government official is a police officer, so it's no stop and frisk. It can't be happening. So if there is, obviously you've got probably a civil lawsuit at that point. But I can get behind the Fourth Amendment. I wouldn't want anybody being profiled and then just stopped because of someone's arbitrary reason. In fact, this is a reasonable dose. And this says it protects people against unreasonable searches and seizures of either self or property by government officials. But I guess that's gray. That might be why some people have a problem with the Fourth Amendment, because what's unreasonable to you may not be unreasonable to me. So I might find it reasonable if I see that kid over there wearing that hoodie, doing something that I don't think he should do. I think it's unreasonable, so I want to go and search him. I don't know. Maybe the Fourth Amendment needs a little bit of work, because unreasonable, I don't think that's a legal word. Unreasonable. What makes something unreasonable versus not? Fifth Amendment establishes the requirement that a trial for a major crime may commence only after an indictment has been handed down by a grand jury. And it also protects individuals from double jeopardy, being tried and put in danger of punished more than once for the same criminal act. Due process. It says you're entitled to a trial by jury or judge, I guess, of your choosing. I guess you get to face your accuser. Yeah, looks like it. So it's just due process. I think I like the Fifth Amendment, right? Now plead the Fifth, comes from some movies where you don't want to say anything that might incriminate you because it's pre-trial, right? That once that Fifth Amendment gives you the right to a trial by a jury or judge. That makes a lot of sense. Why would I say anything right now? It's Tuesday. My trial's on Friday. My trial's on Friday. Why would I tell you what I did Tuesday? Trial's not here yet. Better come up with evidence about what I did on last week for my trial. Don't ask me. What do you get off? The Constitution is not that difficult a document to understand, but right now there's a lot of debate around the Constitution. People say we need to ratify the Constitution. We need to change it. We need to scrap it and start from scratch. Well, I just read this, and I don't know that we need to start from scratch with any of this Constitution. I think the Constitution is okay as it is. What do you guys think? It seems pretty broad, but I think the Constitution was supposed to be broad. And I think that state and local laws were probably supposed to come in and fill in some of those gaps and allow for change. But I don't think those principles are supposed to be any different. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is the Constitution fairly simple, or do you not really understand it and you would like it to be a little bit more clear, a little easier to understand?